I didn't know anyone was going to die that night. I thought I was there to watch cameras, drink bad coffee, and stay awake until morning. When the first gunshot echoed through the building, my first thought wasn't assassination. It was, that's not supposed to happen here. Before I go on, if you like dark stories where the narrator is just as lost and scared as you are, subscribe, because I didn't know what was happening. And by the time I did, it was already too late. The building didn't have a name, just a number on a badge I had to wear at all times. Night attendant, temporary contract, 6 hours. The supervisor rushed through everything, cameras, phone, logbook. If anything happens, write it down, he said. Don't leave the desk. I asked what kind of things. He paused like the question annoyed him. Anything unusual. That was it. At 11:30 p.m., I was alone. Too quiet. Even the air felt heavy. Close to midnight, the elevators opened. Men in suits, armed, alert. One man stood out. Older, calm, like nothing surprised him anymore. Someone whispered his name as he passed. I recognized it. Director Elias Crane. I remember thinking, why does someone that important need a place this quiet? He stopped at my desk. You knew? He asked. I nodded. He studied my face for a second, then said, good luck tonight. I didn't know why that felt like a warning. At 12:07 a.m., camera 4 glitched. I tapped the screen. Security Officer Hale was lying on the floor. I assumed he slipped. Then camera 6. Another officer. Down. That's when I stood up. My heart was already racing and I didn't know why. I grabbed the radio. Control. I think someone's hurt. Static. No answer. Then the lights dimmed. The first gunshot cracked so loud I ducked instinctively. Then another. Then shouting. I froze. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what protocol was. The PA system clicked on. A calm voice said, lockdown in progress. Metal slammed shut around the building. Elevators froze. The cameras came alive, and men were running. Not panicking, hunting. Gunfire echoed everywhere. I watched 2 armed teams run into each other on camera 3. They hesitated. Someone shouted a code. Too late. Bullets tore through both sides. I threw up into the trash can. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. The desk phone rang. I answered it without thinking. A woman said calmly, stay where you are. I asked who she was. She replied, someone trying to keep you alive. That didn't help. Explosions shook the ceiling. Dust fell onto my desk. Camera feeds started dropping one by one. Then I heard footsteps. Close. Heavy boots. Someone fired down the hallway. Bullets punched through the wall behind me. I screamed and crawled under the desk. I didn't know who was shooting who. I didn't know why. All I knew was I didn't want to die on a night shift I almost skipped. Camera 9 came back online. Director Crane's secure room. Smoke everywhere. He was firing a handgun. Slow, controlled. One attacker fell. Then another burst of gunfire. When the smoke cleared, Crane was on his knees. Alive. A woman stepped forward. She said something I couldn't hear. Then she shot him. Once. Twice. I covered my mouth to keep from screaming. The phone rang again. Same woman. You did exactly what you were supposed to do, she said. I told her I didn't do anything. She replied, exactly. The building shook violently. Explosives. The floor cracked. I realized then, this wasn't just an attack, it was a cleanup. I woke up in a hospital. They told me I was lucky. They told me I didn't see anything important. They told me to forget the night ever happened. I tried. 6 weeks later, an email appeared on my phone. Temp night attendant, high pay, immediate start. I stared at it for a long time, because I still don't know what really happened that night. I just know I was there, watching, and that was enough. The receipt printed before I realized my hands were shaking. I hadn't done anything yet, hadn't touched the keypad, hadn't even looked down. And still the machine whirred to life like it already knew what was coming. I work nights at a gas station off the highway. Mile marker 217. No town name, no landmarks, just asphalt, trees, and people passing through who don't want to be remembered. That's why I took the job. Nothing ever happens here. At least, that's what I believed. It was 1:12 a.m. when the black sedan rolled in. Didn't pull up to a pump. Didn't turn off the engine. It just stopped near the door. I noticed that immediately. People who plan to stay leave their engines off. People who plan to leave quickly don't. The man stepped out, mid-40s, clean shoes, no rush in his walk. He looked like someone who expected the world to behave. When he entered, the bell rang. Sharp, loud, too loud for the silence we'd been sitting in. "Evening," I said. He nodded once, didn't answer, went straight to the fridge, grabbed a bottle of water, and came to the counter. No snacks, no cigarettes, no small talk. I rang it up. That's when the receipt printed, before I pressed a single button. I remember staring at it, confused, waiting for the total. Instead, I saw words, not numbers, a name I didn't recognize, and underneath it, in smaller text, "Target confirmed." My heart jumped. I laughed without meaning to, a sharp, nervous sound. "Sorry," I said. "Printer's messed up." The man didn't laugh. He stared at the receipt like it had just said something out loud. Then he looked at me. "Wrong one," he said. I swallowed. "Wrong. What?" "You," he replied calmly. Before I could ask another question, headlights flashed through the glass. Another vehicle pulled in. Old white pickup truck, paint peeling, engine coughing like it might die at any second. The man in front of me stiffened. Not fear, recognition. The second man entered the store, hoodie, baseball cap, eyes scanning fast. The moment they locked eyes, the air changed. No shouting, no surprise, just confirmation. I understood something then that made my legs feel weak. This wasn't a robbery, and it wasn't random. The man at the counter took one slow step to the side, clearing the space between me and the door, like he was giving the other man a clean shot. That's when I realized I wasn't the target. I was just standing in the way. The man in the hoodie reached into his jacket. Time slowed in a way I didn't know was possible. I ducked behind the counter before my brain caught up. A loud crack exploded through the store. Glass shattered behind me. Not my body. The lottery machine. The shooter cursed under his breath. "Damn it!" Another shot. Missed again. The man from the sedan grabbed my arm and yanked me down. "Stay low," he whispered. His voice was steady, annoyed even, not scared. He reached into his pocket, not for a weapon, for a phone. "Attempt failed," he said quietly. "Shooter inexperienced. Abort." The man in the hoodie panicked. He ran, out the door, tires screeching. Gone. Silence rushed in to replace the chaos. My ears rang. The man let go of my arm like I was nothing more than furniture. He straightened his jacket. "You should replace that machine," he said, nodding toward the shattered glass. Then he walked out. No police came. No sirens. No one asked questions. I closed the store early and went home, convincing myself it was a one-time nightmare. It wasn't. 2 nights later, I noticed something odd. The security camera outside had been adjusted, tilted slightly downward. I didn't touch it. The next night, a white pickup truck passed by. Didn't stop, just slowed. On the 4th night, a man came in asking for directions. He already knew where everything was. On the 5th night, my boss called, said someone had asked about me. My name, my schedule, how long I'd worked nights. That's when it hit me. The assassination didn't fail. It just changed plans. Because now there was a witness, someone who could identify a face, a voice, a pattern, and witnesses don't get ignored. Tonight, I'm back on shift. Same register, same bell, same road outside. A black sedan is parked across the street, engine running, lights off, waiting. The receipt printer hums softly behind me. I haven't touched it, but it's already warming up, like it knows. And this time, I don't think they're going to miss.